Do not come home. Returnees Association head urges Jamaicans overseas to avoid Jamaica altogether.
Teach them! Always make sure the message reach them!
President of the Jamaica Association for the Resettlement of Returning Residents, Percival, is urging Jamaicans overseas not to return home. According to Latouche, who spent 30 years in the United Kingdom, from 1958 until the early 1990s, when he resettled in the land of his birth, it makes no sense you spend 20, 30, or 40 years overseas, working hard only to return home for people to kill you. Latouche made the comments on Tuesday, December the 4th, while reacting to the murder of returning resident, 44-year-old Karen Cleary, whose body was found buried in a shallow grave on her property in Boscobel St. Mary on Monday afternoon, December the 3rd. Cleary, who was born in Jamaica but had lived in England for 20 years, had been building her dream home in the country of her birth when she went missing on Sunday, November the 25th. Her body was found wrapped in a tarpaulin in a hole which had been covered with a layer of concrete and dirt. A post-mortem will be done to determine the cause of death. News of her brutal demise has already hit the foreign media and come just days after the body of 72-year-old American Nancy Hardy was found in a shallow grave in Hanover last Wednesday, November 28, 4 days after she had been reported missing. Latouche said that dozens of homes built by returning residents are locked up as they have moved back overseas because they are fearful of being targeted. He said there are some 60 such houses in the Mandeville area alone, and returnees have lost confidence in the ability of the security forces to protect them. According to Latouche, returning residents of Retreat and Prospect in St. Thomas are under siege from robbers. The people them can't come out of them house, he said. Having started one of the first such associations for returning residents in Jamaica 25 years ago, and having personally attended over 160 funerals for returning residents, many of them murder victims, Latouche is now at his wit's end as to what should be done to address the problem. And he is not holding back in going after the leadership of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, which he accused of being inept. Latouche slammed Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson, claiming that the most decisive action the top cop has made since he was appointed to the job 9 months ago is to go after the public defender. He described members of the JCF hierarchy as being bereft of ideas and paying lip service to the plight of returning residents. Despite an overall 21% reduction in murders this year when compared to 2017, Latouche charged that the police have not done enough to reduce homicides, in particular of returning residents. This, he said, is a failure on the part of Anderson. He said 11 returning residents have been killed since the start of the year, an average of 1 each month. As it relates to a special task force that was announced in July to address the situation, Latouche has dismissed it as a joke. It is pure politics in it. It is not going anywhere. I went to one meeting and I realized this is rubbish, so I have not gone back. All we can hear is pure chat and more chat. In July, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade announced the establishment of a task force to address security and safety concerns related to returning residents and their holistic reintegration into the Jamaican society. It said the task force would be chaired by State Minister Pernell Charles Jr. and would comprise returning residents, the Ministry's Diaspora Affairs Department, and the JCF. In its own statement, the JCF committed to assisting returnees to vet persons they engage to work for them. It is reported that Cleary and several others may have fallen victim to the very persons they had employed to work on their homes. The JCF said at the time that the safety and security of returning residents remained a high priority and strategies and support systems were being bolstered for their protection. According to the JCF, meetings would be held regularly at the divisional level to enhance the sharing of important information. Following the killing of 2 returnees from the UK, 71-year-old Florence and 74-year-old Alfred Anderson in June, The Guardian newspaper reported that Jamaican expats who return home after decades in the UK face an extreme risk of murder. The newspaper was quoting a senior retired member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. The newspaper also reported that 85 Britons, Americans, and Canadians were killed in Jamaica since 2012. The Anderson had only recently retired to Jamaica, where Charlie was born, when they were fatally stabbed and their bodies burned following a firebomb attack on their home in Mount Pleasant in the parish of Portland. The double murder followed the killing in April of 63-year-old Birmingham charity worker Delroy Walker in St. Mary, where he had been completing his dream home. Two men whom he had employed to work on his house were taken into custody. In January, 81-year-old Melbourne Flake and his 70-year-old wife Etta, both of retreat in St. Thomas, and who were returning from Canada, were found dead in their home in the parish. Two persons are before the court in connection to those killings.
Teach them! Hey, yo, hello! Send the message and make it reach them. It's teach them. Right here, Warlord representing.
Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment below. Remember to like and share the video. Don't forget to subscribe for more awesome content. Follow me on social media and check out the suggested videos on screen. This is Teach saying, until next time, walk good, my friends.